out of these two warrant from dispatch unit to respond. 2829. I'm 12 officer shaded. Good for you. We'll do 137. Like 28 dispatch, you went to the house. You see if anyone's precinct is able to go pick her up and from somewhere. They're very busy right now working bad crash. It's there. The first precinct could meet at the North Landing Bridge possibly.
Hello, hello.
29th Pacific. That's one. That's 146. Legacy officer. 1046.
Hello.
Anybody, do you want the caller to come outside?
How are you?
You are going to? So 127. She said I should pass it. I will play it. What you said? We're just going to turn on phone. Thanks.
I'm looking like there yet. I'm looking like that. Right there.
Could you get 23 Foxtrot off the kids in the shop of that one? 10-4, 129 doors.
See right there.
4-6.
Ah. Hello. Hey, Patrick. How are you?
Can you give me the descriptors one more time, please? For right now, dark hair, 6 foot, 200 pounds, wearing a black hoodie and blue shorts.
How was your night, day, holiday? I just got home from work. Did I miss any interesting news today? I'm sure I did. Oh, I hear you. It's hot up in here, I know that. Oh, man. So this walking pneumonia I got has not gotten any better. I take that back. At least I didn't feel like I was going to pass out 5 times today. Only 3. New Alberta fires. Guess I'll be alright in a minute. It's been hot all day. And it's hot up in here. Waiting on it to cool off some. I'm still running a fever. You would think that all this heat would help me sweat it out, but whatever, it hasn't yet. Bad wildfires, yeah. I saw some the other day when I was looking through the news in Canada. You know, I still think some of these meteorites that I be seeing, you know, all the time, and everybody else around the world, I think they're causing some of the fires. You know, and they're not going to tell us that because they don't want us to have mass panic over meteors falling. Just like those lightning strikes that started so many fires 2 years ago. 20 Celsius. I think it was 101 on the field today. That means the areas I was in was 113 to 125, depending on, you know, which one I was in at which moment. Yeah, I do. I think the meteors are causing a lot. I saw some flashes of light in the sky tonight before I left the job that, you know, wasn't lightning. It was just, there was no, you know, cloud cover. You could see all the stars and whatnot. It was just these flashes of light. But sometimes if you're not looking up nowadays, and then, you know, say you're looking down at the ground or whatever, you're not looking up at the sky, and you get a quick flash of light late at, you know, or after dark, you know, it's a meteor and you didn't see it because you weren't looking up, and that, you know, they hit so quick, and if it burns up, then all you see is that flash of light, you know. But if you're looking down at the ground, you know, you're like, oh, must have been a, you know, some lightning or something. Oh, I wonder how many times that happens because people aren't looking up in the sky. Like that night, that one went through here, went through Virginia and North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Everybody saw it, and then it went down somewhere in Florida. Well, it lit up the sky for just a second, you know. So if you weren't looking up, you just noticed the ground got really light for a second. Man, it's hot up in here. Gracious. Probably about 110 up in here. Yeah. Oh, let's see what we missed in the news, I guess.
It's 19165. 19165.
Dog dies after being attacked in Virginia Beach. Huh. Wonder what the dog died from. You had a tree, so the power company says fell on the main power line today. Oh, really? Did y'all have strong winds? Did y'all have storms?
For a female unconscious, if you're in a location, possibly sleeping,
Why do people drink so much that they get found unconscious? I saw a guy standing in the middle of the road, middle of the intersection, where cars do 50 and 55 and 60. He's just standing there in the middle of the intersection, just out of his mind, don't even know where he's at. I'm like, Lord, please come get this man so he don't get hit. One night, I was leaving the bar and, took some side roads to get home. And this man was laying in the middle of the road, laying there, drunk. So back then we didn't have cell phones, and so I had to. Finally, I got another car to stop, so they could leave their flashers on and sit there, so nobody would run over them. And I had to go to a 7-Eleven and use a payphone to call the police. Then I went back there and waited. They're like, well, is he breathing? And blah, blah. I said, I don't know. It's a strange man laying in the middle of the road. All I'm going to do is sit there with the flashers on till y'all get here. Wasn't like he, I don't know. He was drunk. Thought he was home in his bed, laying in the middle of the road. There was a guy once, took everything out of his pockets, set it up on the curb, like it was his nightstand or his dresser. Took his wallet out, set it up on the little parking curb thing, everything. And went to sleep right there in the parking lot. And people wake up the next day think somebody robbed them. Well, yeah, somebody might have took your stuff because you're a dumb butt. Sat it out on the curb and went to sleep like it was your dresser. I just don't. And then people brag about it. They be like, man, I got so wasted and blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking, I'm like, you're really bragging about being that wasted that you couldn't speak, you didn't know who you were or anything? People do. They wear it like a badge of honor. You know, to get so wasted that they don't even know who they are. Alright, let's see what this dog got attacked by. Because I seen some ducks the other day were attacking people. I think it was in Florida. I haven't pulled that article up yet. Oh, it was an off-leash pit bull that attacked a leash dog. Oh, a little teeny Yorkshire Terrier Shinzitsu mix died.
Not sure what call that is.
Yeah, the owner of that pit ain't gonna own up to it unless they know who it belongs to. Because they're gonna put the dog down anyway. And if they find the owner, they're gonna charge them.
25 for check. 142 hours. Liberty. 142 hours.
Oh, they done changed the story now. It was 10 people shot, not 8. Hmm. Some breeds. No, I had a pit bull. And so I'm going to have to disagree with that. And she was the biggest sweetheart there was. She loved cats, other dogs, people. It's all on how they're raised. And I tell you, the ones that are feisty are the little ones. They got such big personalities. But, you know, you can't take a pit bull and teach it to fight because it does have 2,000 pounds worth of pressure in its mouth. Like some people, hello Glenn, how are you? Some people think that their jaws lock. Their jaws don't lock. It's just that they have 2,000 pounds worth of pressure when they bite down. So you don't ever want them to bite down. You know, like I used to teach mine when she was a puppy that I'd give her food and let my daughter or other kids go up and take it away. And dare, you know, if she even growled, I'd pop her. And then so I taught her to sit down. If someone walked up to her while she was eating, she'd back away from her food and just sit down. You know, because they are powerful dogs, and you have to be responsible for them. But they're the most loving, loyal dogs, just like anything else, if that's the way they're brought up. Oh, I'm okay. I'm still dealing with this walking pneumonia. And it's hot up in here. I just got home from work. It was hot at work all day, but what, dogs? That's right, 'cause you raised Dobermans, right? A pit bull's a powerful dog, and the owners have to be responsible for them. Oh, drunks are dogs. Yeah, I used to be a professional on drunks too, working at a bar for 22 years. Actually, I was good at handling people and trying to keep them from getting too drunk, especially you know if they were people that didn't like to give up their keys. Yeah, I thought I remembered you saying that about the Dobermans. So did you do anything for the well, I mean, Memorial Day's today, technically, but people have been celebrating all weekend. Oh, yeah, I bet, Patrick. You got a funny dog story? You got some alone time. Oh, so you're not alone? Oh, that's right, Patrick. See, I didn't even think about that. You ordered Chinese and ate in peace? Huh. Yeah, I just got home from work and I'm eating uh, a stupid 7-Eleven microwave thing. Oh, this is not even good at this point. Forgive me, Lord. Let me say it's delicious because it's food. Definitely not what I wanted after another long, hot day at work, but it was late, and after I stopped and put gas in the car, I was like, I don't feel like going nowhere else, so I'm just going to grab something out of here. Ugh. I better quit trying to eat it, though, for it. Well, it makes me sick. Anyway. Excuse me. bored with her love stories? Huh? You just bored a Newport woman asleep on the phone. Uh, so, what's your funny dog story? Yeah, I need some antibiotics and some prednisone. I think at this point is the only way it's going to clear up. Maybe I can try to clean that AC unit tomorrow. Maybe that helps some. So, Glenn, you gonna call in and tell us about your funny dog story? You had a woman. I had a woman in me send her a picture of myself and said I would not be held responsible for the state of mental. Ha ha ha! You're funny, Patrick. Yeah, I know some things is a lot of typing, so you can call in and tell us about it if you want while I'm awake. Oh, you're funny, Patrick. Well, the line's open, I think. And my throat is starting to hurt again. Ain't that the truth, Patrick? Actually, laughter releases the good feeling hormones in your brain, the endorphins. Like if you force yourself to smile or you force yourself to laugh, and it will actually change your mood and release the endorphins that make you feel good. And sometimes it feels silly, making yourself smile or making yourself laugh, faking a smile or faking a laugh. But like if you're alone and you're sad, do it, and it will change your mood. You gotta do it for like 5 minutes, but it actually will release the same hormones that are released naturally that make you smile and make you laugh. The things that make you happy that cause that reaction. Well, if you fake the reaction, you'll cause your brain to release those chemicals, and it'll change your mood. $6.99 progressive savings, huh? Are you calling in, Glenn? You have, Patrick? Good. It's in the screen?
Boulevard, Virginia, 55 and Charlie, 2539.
Oh. So,
6 hours.
oh. I forgot that was up there. I was pulling up the news. I don't know how they acquitted that man that killed that 2-year-old baby. But anyway.
I'm clear from 228. Go up, y'all, please. And 401 to 6 hours.
That's still yesterday's news. That woman was high on drugs, and her dog, or her kid, got attacked by a dog while she was high on drugs. Oh, look at the cute little doggy. So 2 women arrested for allegedly pushing a man over, taking his dog. Police car wreck while answering a call. Deputy shoots 2 dogs that killed man's pet goat. Animal control investigating. It's just all about dogs tonight. Because I clicked on the one link, so now it's going to show me all the man charged in 1973 Virginia Beach cold case. Oh, I hadn't seen that one.
44 Charlie, please, guys. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, some detox herbal tea. Hear about Tommy Dog in Virginia Beach? No. Oh, well, I think I covered a story about a man that set a dog on fire. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was like last week.
159 hours.
I think. Maybe the week before. People are losing their minds. Come on. '11th Street Pacific. There were 2 victims, 1 male and 1 female. The man identified as 33-year-old Terrence Jarrell Houston of Newport News was pronounced dead at the scene. The female victim was taken to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. Oh, those must be the 2 in custody. But those names don't match the... Yeah. Yeah. 20-year-old Carson Carnell Davis Jr. of Virginia Beach charged with murder. An 18-year-old Zamie Nicole Lewis has been charged with concealed weapon accessory after the fact. I didn't even hear about that shooting. That happened Friday. Yeah, it's true. So many have a sense of entitlement. Well, Glenn, I know it made the news here because I remember saying something about it, but there's so much mayhem going on every day here that the story gets forgotten about until sometimes until like after the person has been tried and convicted or whatever, then they might touch on the story again. But it's like when the murder happened at my job a few years back. The next day, I was trying to find articles about the murders, and it was buried so deep I couldn't even find it because there was so many new murders since then in this area that they weren't even covering it anymore because there was all these brand new murders a day later. And I actually had posted on Facebook because I used to run I had created a Facebook thing for the bar, and so I commented on there to our customers that were scared to come back in, and I just I'm like, of course this is tragic. Um, I said, but more than that, the tragedy is there's so many murders going on daily now that I can't even find the story, and it's a day old. And then so 13 News covered that. It said that the manager of Tango said that they actually read my Facebook post on the news, and then they brought up, they're like, they're right because there was so many. I think Virginia Beach had the number one murder rate for that year, which is unusual because Newport News usually beats us out, and Portsmouth, and then Norfolk. We're usually, the fourth or fifth, but we weren't that year. Welcome back, Patrick. Yeah, well, it's gotten a lot worse. It's crazy now. It's so common here, it isn't funny. It's daily. Yeah, Richmond was pretty bad, but this little area here, and in here we have people from everywhere because it's so many military bases here, and we have people from all around the country, and then even people from around the world. Hello, Suzanne. How are you? How old is she? 11? Oh, yeah, tomorrow's a holiday. Today, rather. Oh, maybe some pizza will help her fall asleep. Yeah, that is sad. Anyway, I have a lot of topics I want to cover this week, so maybe we'll cover some of those tomorrow and Tuesday. A lot of stuff I haven't even had time to put my thoughts together on. You know, I need one of those little voice things where you're talking to it, so I can remember it later. And because I'll be thinking of stuff, man, I'll be thinking of some good stuff too. And then, just like when I think of some really good inspirational stuff, and then by the time I get home, I'm tired and it's been a long, day with all kinds of stuff going on. And then by the time I get here, I lost all my thoughts. Oh, you just heated the oven? So I thought Glenn was going to call in. He said he had some funny dog story to tell us, but oops. Oh, if it's gang related, then he ain't getting out of jail at all. They've got all these extra charges they give gang members when they commit murder. Because I don't know. I know the one guy they had arrested and he was going through. I guess well he was going through the judicial system waiting on his court case, and his other gang members were already out there threatening the witnesses and whatnot. And well, they hauled them all in and gave them like triple life sentences and um, whatever the laws is they have poor gang members when they threaten witnesses and yada yada. Man, they stuck the book to them. Oh yeah, thank you, Patrick. Oh yeah, it's 3:37 there now. Really, the sun rises at 5 a.m. Yeah, I bet. You were talking to your sis. How's she doing? Oh no, I just got here myself, Suzanne. I just got home from work 40 minutes ago, so I just started the show. Just for a little while I unwind, let people talk for a minute. I sure wish I knew how Spinny was doing. We haven't heard from him. Sure seems like 2 weeks now at least. I'm still sick. It's not breaking at all right now. I haven't had much rest, and I definitely haven't been eating good, and I'm still out of my vitamins. I haven't gotten those yet, and I'm sure all that contributes to it. I'm sure I need some antibiotics and some prednisone. You were about to go to bed, didn't want to turn on any YouTube today. Yeah, I feel you, Glenn. Some of the stuff is just... And then there was this message from one of the ones that sells Bitcoin, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin is probably appropriate name for it instead of Bitcoin. But apparently, people are tired of whatever they invested with him. And then they said, funny how you'll sell Bitcoin, but won't he take Bitcoin as a payment? He won't take it as a payment or a donation, but he'll sell it. So, like, something's wrong with that. Even the owners of some of these Bitcoin sites won't take Bitcoins, but they'll sell them to you. So, I mean, people have to know anything that's... Because you know what that company's going to do. It's going to be like Enron did. Get people to buy into something, and they're going to lie about what it's doing until they've gotten all they can get out of people, and people start complaining and wanting to pull out, and then they'll file bankruptcy. And then everybody will lose their money. But they're still doing videos today to, telling people how good it's doing and why they need to invest. And there was all these people commenting in the comment section about how he ripped them off, and he's always asking people for money. He's supposed to be alternative news and blah blah blah, and they're like over it. Yeah, I mean, it might, but people be foolish to allow that to happen, because if ever there's, major power grid issues and the banks tell you, well, we can't give you any money because we can't look at our computers and verify that you have any, and we can't access the vault because it's all... And so nobody will have any money because the bank can't tell them how much they have, or when the computers come back up, when the power grid comes back up, oh, it wiped everything out. Right, Suzanne. Oh, boy. Maybe I'll actually sleep tonight. Since work got canceled tomorrow, which isn't a good thing, but... It's coming Virginia 10, Victor's on the Tango, 1222 on an F-250. We got a new rip current. Wow, there's going to be a lot of people at the beach, too. We got a new rip current warning. Warning. Rip currents drown people all the time, especially around here. In Nags Head in North Carolina. The Outer Banks, Hatteras.
About 223. That's 16.
I'm sleepy time tea. Yeah, I probably wish I had some of that now. Ease my throat a little bit and help me sleep. I think I'm sleepy enough I can sleep at least for a couple of hours before I start doing that every 5-minute thing. Virginia Beach. They've been really active. I listened to Chicago a couple of times, and that's a very busy city. Yeah, Suzanne, if you can keep it to about 5 minutes, because I'm getting sleepy. We'll have a, so yeah, you can call in. I'm just not going to stay on long. We'll have a regular show later this evening since work got canceled, but, um, the poor city might still be on there. No, that's not, it depends on, which scanner you use, because it's, public access to public, to the, police thing. I'll remind you, yeah. It's, now they'll go on private channels when, when they're doing a active investigation. Oh, I thought you were going to call in. But, okay. When they're doing an active investigation, something highly sensitive, then they'll switch channels. I mean, you can still hear all the regular, stuff going on. But one time there was this undercover drug bust going on, and they were actually following the guy. The guy took a cab, left Virginia Beach, went to Williamsburg in the cab, got the drugs, got back in a cab, and they were following the cab, and but I guess they didn't realize they didn't go to a private channel, so you could hear them. No, but Glenn, this scanner I have, I can listen to cops in other countries. I can listen to No.
I'll put 64270744.
I think they've been saying that for, some people have been trying to say that for years, but it's free public exposure. What's the word? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. What, for Richmond? Let me go to Richmond right now. Um,
Uniform Brooklyn Sierra 4095, Green, Toy Camry.
here's one for I-95 Richmond to DC, 181 Shenandoah Valley, I-95 Richmond to DC, I-81 to Shenandoah Valley, I-64 and I-66. It's on, but nobody's really listening to it. But that's state troopers on that one. Yeah, I don't know. FBI wanted to talk to him for what? I mean, if the FBI wants to talk to you, they just show up and talk to you. They don't call you and tell you.
Scenario.
Here's one for New South Wales, Australia. Um, well, you're in Chester, Glenn? Is that where you're at? Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me yet? Good morning.
Well, I'll keep it to 5 minutes. I heard you tell their name 5 minutes. But I was looking up something that we were talking about, so I don't want to try to type it all in there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I went back to the article because I was just reading it because I'm a scanner nut too. I've been doing that my whole life, and I had got out of it, and I went to look up my city, and it was gone. So I punched in and found out Virginia Select Cities have already done away with it. and it's a big thing. People are mad, but when I pulled the article back up, the big headline was Virginia Beach. That was happens to be the city. They're asking for 6.8 million, and I guess it was last week. I don't know if they passed it, so they could encrypt theirs. They don't want people listening, and they're talking about zero access. Doesn't matter what you have, impossible to pick it up, and that's where they're all headed. And they're actually Virginia Beach was the city that and Roanoke's trying to do it too. Complete encryption, no way you can uncode it, and nobody will have the radios. I guess except maybe the CIA or whatnot. But yeah, 6.2 million Virginia Beach they were raising, and I guess they voted on it May 15th, which was only what a week and a half ago. So you might want to look into that. It must not have passed, or maybe they're building it. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, yeah. I think people are mad saying that they're not getting full disclosure, and it's going to cause more corruption and cover-ups. But then they're arguing something about what you said, that people were using it to get around police and commit crime.
Right. Well, see, there's times when just like when I was listening to the police scanner that night, there was shooting out back where I live at, and I heard them on the radio where they said they found the gun. It was underneath a car. They had thrown it under a car when they were running. And so I called in and told them, I said, look, you need to be looking for two guns and two shooters because it was two different distinct gunfires like they were shooting at each other. You heard one go off, right? Then you heard the other
Yeah.
gun, two distinct different guns. And, different sounding, completely different sounding. Like one might have been a 38 snub nose and the other was something really big. And, anyway, so I called in and told him, I said, you need to be looking for another gun because there was actually two guns in that shooting. And because when people called it in, they just called in gunshots. And
Yeah,
so
well, that would be
so the police found the
probably one
one
of the counter
gun.
arguments.
The police found the one gun and thought they were done. And I called in because I was listening to the scanner. I'm like, no, y'all need to look. There's another gun out here somewhere, or there's another shooter. He might still have possession of the gun, but there was two guns going off, not one. So
Yeah, I know. Reporters back in the day used to use them to get to the crime scenes like
right,
faster than the police would get there, or as fast.
right,
But yeah, they were using either the one you were talking about or a few different ones, specifically saying that where it hindered them, and people got away and knew exactly when to get rid of the drugs and
well, no,
exactly what
no,
they.
no, but see, they have different channels for that. They
Well,
have,
yeah, I understand that, but people are slick. Like I never got into it.
yeah,
Some
but
like
even
some of
if
my
they
friends.
encrypt them, Glenn, as soon as they encrypt them, somebody will hack that.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if it's going to be. They're talking like it's not the encryption like I remember when the day when you could when it was just scrambled sound and then you couldn't understand them. They're talking about like the app that I had. You probably had it too. The worldwide one when I used to get alarms and if there was an emergency in Australia, it would I had to set at certain levels of seriousness, but whenever something certain really big, I would get an alarm, and I had my favorite cities in there too, and it would go off, and I knew it was something really big. Like I
Right,
heard some really crazy stuff in Australia, and then it'd be in
right,
Germany, and
right.
but I don't know about the USA. They're talking about this absolutely. If you read the article, they make it sound like that there's nobody can do it. It just
And where was this at? Because the only articles I'm seeing was from May 2018, and that was a couple of
yeah,
that
that's the
was
one that mentions Virginia Beach. But
well,
there's some more if you dig deeper. Like
well,
my city's gone, Chesterfield. I've tried to look, and that's a pretty big area around here. It's completely inaccessible. And I've dug in deeper, and they're saying that nobody can hear it, no matter what they do. It's just impossible, and that's the way the trend is heading to more deep state cover up kind of conspiracy thing. I mean, it's just I was kind of like, wow, it ain't no good, because people were just mad that they had a lot of people had just shelled out $1,000 for the newest, latest it's actual scanner. It's like $1,000 or something, and then they're going, well, that cities are disappearing. This thing's going to be no good in a year. But I don't know. It's expensive though, so not every. That's what I meant by the poor cities are going to be kind of slow to getting up to it, even if they do it. So I don't know. I know Chesterfield is inaccessible, and that's a big area. I can't hear nothing. They still got the fire. They're like, oh, well, you can still listen to the firemen. I'm thinking, well, that's how exciting is that? I don't care about the ambulances and the firemen so much. Actually, I got bored with it just in general and took it off my phone for a while. I was trying to listen back home, and it was just too much anyway up there. I'm sure they don't have it up there. They're always late getting everything up there. They're so poor. That city is bankrupt. I think that's the only city that ever went bankrupt. Oh, the first city to go bankrupt. They were proud of that too. Isn't it sad when a city is proud of their murder rate and proud to be the first city to go bankrupt? I mean, I'm like, God, you guys are really clinging.
Yeah. Well, I can tell
Pretty
you this
sad.
much. Sometimes, sometimes it's hard to find them because they don't list themselves. Like Virginia Beach wasn't listed as Virginia Beach Police Department, and so you had to know how they were listed to find them. Like you could find, Virginia Beach Fire, Virginia Beach
Yeah.
EMS, Virginia Beach Special Events, but the police department actually had a different name, and it wasn't Virginia
Yeah.
Beach.
Well, when they went to trunking, that was tricky at first when it just trunked because they would say something on one frequency and it would change to another to here, and it was constantly switching, and you had to, then the scanners caught up and they could follow the truck systems, and that was a big step, and then that took care of it for a couple of years. Then they went to something called APCO 25, which was a very, very tough one, and it took them a couple of years to catch up with that technology, and then you had to pay like $1,000 to get anything that was APCO 25, and they could decode that, and then now they're saying this newest one is going to be, nobody's going to be able to hack into it. But like you said, somebody may find a way out. You know how people are.
Somebody
I
will.
don't know.
Somebody
I
will
don't know the
hack into it.
technology.
Somebody will hack into it. Who's
Yeah, they can hack into Wells
it's like
Fargo and the
Patrick. God
CIA
bless
and
you.
all that, and they can hack into anything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
what I'm
I'm not
saying.
going to go to all that trouble now. I won't do that. I just wanted to hear something because I just had no clue. Something was going on down the street, and I heard gunshots, and then I heard a bunch of sirens. I was like, hey, let me go pull my scanner app back up, and then it was nothing listed, but it said, what did it say? Something, I think it was just ambulances and fire, and I went, what? This can't be all there is. And then I kept looking and looking, and then I said, what's going on? It's been a couple of years, so I punched up and started getting articles about certain cities in Virginia in particular, and then it said that, yeah, Chesterfield's gone, and you can't get it nowhere, no how, no way, and I'm like, well, that sucks.
Well, sometimes Virginia Beach will be offline, but um, that's any of them will be offline sometimes.
But you remember when they all went off the normal before they even had digital anything, like where I was living, they were late even getting that, so I could listen to the real ghetto stuff in Detroit, but I couldn't get the ones around me in my little suburbs anymore until I could afford a better scanner, and then it became where the older scanners were useless. They don't pick up nothing anymore under 900 megahertz, and then they went up to 1.2 gigahertz, and then when they went shrunken, it was just crazy. And then after they went up to $800 or $900, I couldn't buy them anymore. And then they went to that APCO, and they were asking like 15 to 3,000. And I said, I'm done with this. And then I found out you could get apps on your phone, and that was pretty cool. But I got kind of bored with it. And I do the ham radio thing and all that stuff. Now, I was telling Patrick, I was talking to Montreal tonight and Ottawa and a bunch of stuff, but not Newfoundland. I can't say that. I always have trouble. Newfoundland, however they say it. Newfoundland, I say it wrong. But I got some friends in Newfoundland or whatever that do come in there quite often.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm an electronic nerd, I guess, but it's funny, I like that, but it's I don't know anything about computers and anything. My son used to tease me and go, "You spend all that money and time on all them radios and antennas and all that stuff, and all I got to do is put on a headset and on my Xbox, and I talk around the world, no problem. And you're struggling with the solar cycles and climbing up towers and spending all that money." And I'm like, yeah, but that's the fun part of it. Yeah, anybody can get on a computer and throw a headset on and talk around the world. That's not the fun part of it. It's just trying to get there the old way, But he don't get it because he's 30 or 28
Right.
or whatever he was at the time. But yeah, I still do that, but I'm limited where I'm at. So I got tons of equipment though that I can't use. That's about all I have left in my name, and I've been selling it off slowly. I got one ham radio in there that was $13,000, and I'm like, oh, people were like, I ain't gonna ever pay as much for a radio as I can buy a car for.
Right.
But that's back when I had extra, and believe me, now I don't have no extra, so I'm broke, I'm poor.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. You'll see me on the corner with a sign like that. One guy, forget his name. I just saw an article on him, if you remember, and he looked like Obama, but he was a homeless guy.
Uh-huh.
The man with the magic voice, I think they called him, but I had forgotten about it. But I saw a follow up, like whatever happened to story on him.
Wow.
If you remember him or not. There was even a crazy conspiracy on YouTube a few years ago saying that it was Obama and the whole thing was a psyop or something, but you know how that gets. Kind of crazy.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, I'll save the dog story for when tonight if you have a thing later, because I know you're tired tonight. I just wanted to tell you that because I didn't know if you were going to pull it up.
Yeah, Chesterfield didn't show up here, but I'm pretty good at finding stuff.
Yeah, well, I've been on a little bit. I think I found that worldwide. There's a bunch of scanner apps still out there, but like I said, some of us missing things. But when I first found it, like in 2013, I thought it was really cool because it didn't cost anything, and I was about to go out and buy a radio that was about $1,500 so I could pick it all up until I found that. I said, screw it, I ain't gonna buy anything.
Right.
There was a big earthquake and all kinds of mess happening and all kinds of damage and deaths and everything going on in Australia. And I sat there and listened one night, all night,
Yeah,
2013.
I listened to some other countries before.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to do that. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're interested because I've never known too many, I hate to put it that way, but most girls used to hate that kind of stuff. They still do. My sister walks in my house and the first thing she says is, "Can you please turn off that radio?" And it'll just be on in the background, and it just aggravates her. She's always hated it. She's hated it. She don't like to hear anything going on in the background. It has to be completely silent. And it's just like, whoa, crazy. And there's been issues going on. Let me see. Not like I got a list, but two bigger relationships in my life. It's been like a big thing, man. What I spend on it, the time that I spend on it, etc. both times it's been an issue with my radio hobby. I don't know why it's such a big issue. It seems like staying at home. I'm not running around town, sitting right here, and I spend a few hours messing with some radio stuff, and it's just they act like I'm missing or something.
Right.
I'm like, I'm right here. I mean, I'm not running the streets. Right. I mean, how less of a harmful hobby could I have?
Right.
You can hear me and see me, and I'm right here, and I'm not going anywhere. And still, I'm getting all kinds of crap about it. You're jealous of a electronic item with a knob on it. But now that's different than Facebook. I learned long ago that you just got, if you're in a relationship, you cannot have anything to do with Facebook. It'll just tear your family apart. It just does. Oh, I've noticed it. I don't know if you've been in that situation, but it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on how people use it. You know.
Well, I mean, I think it's the person because if they have any kind of jealousy, it's so easy for it to happen. Like I came down here, I hadn't been here in 20-some years. Oh, obviously I know hundreds of people, but it's been a long time since I've seen them. So they've all grown up, and everyone's adults now with children and married. And even the girl that I came down here to try to be with or give it a shot with, we hadn't seen each other since we were 18, and now we're like 40 something. I didn't expect that. I thought it wouldn't be a big thing, but it was like almost like I was 18 again. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Why are you talking to that girl? I'm like, well, just somebody I knew in high school. She's married. One in particular was funny because I hadn't been here but 2 days, and I'm thinking, I don't know if this is going to work out because people are contacting me going, are you in town? And she's like, who's that? And I'm like, well, it's a girl I went to school with. She wants to know, she's married to a Richmond police officer, and she wants to know if me and you want to meet her and her husband and go out together, have some dinner, like welcome back. And she just got enraged, like, wow, I don't want to go out with some girl you knew in high school. I'm like, well, I just knew her. Yeah, right. It's not like it was an ex-girlfriend or nothing, and no, it didn't happen. And I knew at that point, man, this ain't going to be cool. So I just got off of Facebook. I just gave that up.
Right.
But yeah, that may have been her problem. Maybe it's not a problem if people are okay with it. But I didn't see that as a big issue. It's like two adults saying you want to go out and have some dinner. Doesn't seem threatening to me, but.
Yeah, but I mean, things can lead to things so easily, so I get.
Well, no, she had it in her head that if I knew her from the past, I must have mean that we went out or something. I couldn't just know her. I must have
But I mean, if you weren't like friends, you know what I'm saying? Then there's. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I was trying to tell her. I was like, she's married to a cop.
That doesn't matter. That's what she's telling you. And for all you know, they're swingers. Or she's
well, yeah, I mean, I mean, there's always that.
Or she's
who
looking
knows?
to cheat on him. I mean, if she wasn't a friend, and it's just somebody you went to school with, then yeah, no, I'll see you at the high school reunion in 10 years or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew her around the neighborhood. She was just like, she was just like everybody else here. I knew people. You can't unknow people, and if they happen to be female, and they were in your neighborhood and you went to school with them, everybody knew everybody. So it was kind of like that. Yeah, there might have been 2 or 3 other ones that I would have said, well, yeah, I know that we went out or whatever. So I wasn't even tried that.
Right.
And I caught that too because of course I had a few of those on there too. But they went on and got married and whatnot too. But there was one in particular that I had owed money to for a long time, and she wasn't an ex-girlfriend, but she knew. I can't believe she could remember that far back.
Right.
That, oh, I remember you used to like her and you were chasing her and basically you were choosing her over me like when we were 17 and I'm thinking, okay, well, whatever, and I can understand that if she sees me talking to someone like that because she never liked her and there was, animosity and whatnot. But no, I had to pay her back some money because I had owed her for a long time and I could pay her back. So I had to get in touch with her to send her the money, get her the money back, but she wouldn't take it. And then that was the end of it. I'm married now, and thank you, and I helped you, and she said pay it forward, and that was the end of it.
Right.
But man, that didn't even go over very well because she was convinced after that I was calling and messaging on Facebook, and I just didn't get into that. I didn't even like Facebook. I hated it because I had bad experience with it before, and so I just canceled the whole thing. And then I did that thinking that would be the end of it, but then it was like, oh, why'd you cancel it? You must have stuff to hide. So it just, you can't win sometimes. So I ain't been back on there since, except a couple of times I had to look up somebody like to do some work for me or something like that.
Right.
And then I left it at that. And since then, I don't want to go on there anyway because of the whole privacy issues and leaking and selling your information and all that. So I'm anti-Facebook.
I'm on Facebook. I got almost 3,000. If you want to call them friends up there, but that's because I used to advertise for the bar too. But
oh wow, that is a lot though. I don't know if I've never had that many. I had like 500 people total, and
I got like 2,781 or something like that up there.
No, but then you understand that, like I try to explain. She was new to Facebook. Actually, her daughter, she's not into that stuff. Her daughter, actually, how it happened, and I'll be brief and let you go because I told you 5 minutes. But she had been broke up with her whatever for about a year or two, and was just working and coming home and moping around the house, and in one of those for about a year. And her daughter was getting older, like she was like 16, and said, "Mom, you're just sitting here night after night, just depressed, and you need to get back up and get out there or do something." And she was like, with what and with who? And she's like, well, you don't have anybody that you want to call or rekindle anything with? And she's like, well, only one guy but that's from like 25 years ago, and he don't even live in Virginia, and I don't even know if he's married or no. She was talking about me. She's like, well, just let me hook you up on Facebook and see if you can find him, and you never know. And that's what she did. And I just suddenly get a friend request, and I'm like, oh, I ain't heard from this girl in 30 years. And she's like, hey, can I call you? And I was like, yeah. And then after that, it was weird because she's like, yeah, I'm not with anybody, and I've had all the kids. And I'm like, well, I'm by myself here in the city. I'm in Detroit now, totally alone, and I ain't been with nobody in 7 or 8 years. And I was thinking about actually moving back to Virginia, and then it just kind of went from there. I went on, drug on for a few years. But that was kind of weird, actually, that would happen like that. So I thought it was pretty cool in the beginning, anyway.
Yeah.
That somebody could be through, let me see, one, she had been through a marriage and then another or whatever and had kids with the second one. She had a kid with the first husband and then 3 kids with the guy that she didn't actually marry but was with for like most of the 20 years. And then that ended. Man, she had bad luck, I'll tell you that. But anyway, the last guy, it was, I was later on, and that lasted for a few years.
Bad luck or bad decisions?
Yeah, maybe. I ain't going to say, yeah, she'll make it out to be, it was all them. Yeah, the second one, the father of most of her kids, he was a drug addict, run around town kind of guy, and that she couldn't take that anymore. And I don't blame her. Now, the first one was just a 2 or 3 year thing when you're too young to get married and you have a kid with somebody and you get married because of it. And he beat on her. So, and that was going on even back in the 80s.
Right.
actually. So yeah, that one I'll give her. Now the second one, I don't know. She just says he ran around town and was a drug addict and didn't take care of and pay anything. And I kind of believe it because I know him. Well, that's just it. I know everybody from here, and they're just old now. And the other one, the last one, I don't know who the heck that was or what that was about. Anyway, but that's good for tonight. I hope you get better because God, this is going on 2 weeks, isn't it, or at least a
It's
week?
definitely over a week now.
Yeah, and I keep expecting to hear you say, "Oh, it's slowly getting better," because that's normally how it goes. But sometimes when they linger like that, you got to end up biting the bullet and going, "Well, I need to go," because I know I won't go to the doctor unless I'm on death's door, and you may be the same. But yeah, at some point, you don't want to risk
Well, I don't have
letting it
insurance,
go.
so I don't want to spend $4,000 to $7,000 in the ER.
Well, I understand that, but then again, you don't want to have something that's so bad that you end up going in the hospital, and then you lose your job or miss a lot of your job, or get so sick that like pneumonia or something. Because that happened to me as growing up.
Well, if I ever get
A
too
cold.
sick, if I ever get too sick to go to work, I'm on my deathbed then, because I go to work
Oh
sick.
man. Yeah, I know how that is. Some people would almost rather take the chance than miss a day of work because it's so hard to make it. I know it's terrible that it's so bad that one day off of your check can ruin your whole month.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the lady that's staying here, which I'm glad she's not here. I mean, I don't want to get into that. This would be like a soap opera on the phone, on this phone, but uh, it's not working out her being here whatsoever. And but anyway, she took off. What is today? Sunday. She took off Saturday, and I never know, and I don't need to know. I don't care, but she'll go off and not come back, and I'm glad because it's peaceful. I don't want no one living here. I had to do it. But yeah, she's working tomorrow. I know she mentioned that because she's getting paid double time, and she's like, I need it. So I don't expect I'll have to see her until tomorrow after work. If then, I mean, I'm thinking maybe she might be on her way out of here, and I hope so. Because she started off as all it was is hello and goodbye, and to me, that's enough. I don't want any extra chit chat or nothing otherwise. But then because she drinks, I'm seeing like a lot of bipolar up and down, and I just don't need that from somebody that is not a roommate, just a boarder.
Right.
I don't want to get involved in her issues with her boyfriend and what's going on at her job and she's always on the phone, just issues with her insurance company, and I just don't want to hear it and have nothing to do with it.
Right.
And it's not because I'm not a nice person, but she's just not what she started out being. Like, oh, I don't care what you do, and I'm the easiest person, and then it slowly has morphed into what I was expecting. Like, it's too hot in here, it's too cold in here. What is this? What's that? I don't like this, and why don't you do something about that? And I'm just thinking, this ain't what I signed up for, man. And one night I was just doing what I'm doing now, not even talking this loud. I was on the phone just talking, and she told me in the beginning I could blast my music all night long. I'm like, I wouldn't do that when you're going to work. What are you talking about?
Right.
Oh, I'll sleep with earplugs in. It doesn't matter to me. But I never did that.
Right.
Then one night I'm talking like this, and she texts my phone saying, can you please stop talking? I got to work tomorrow. And I'm like, what? And then I knew, that was about a month in. And I went from that to things like just complaining about things, and I'm just thinking, you're nothing but someone that's staying here for really cheap.
Right.
So I don't need to hear things like, and plus she's nickel and diming me like, I only got $50, and I'm like, well, I need more than that. I got to pay the rent. Well, I can give you some on the 6th, and then I'll have the rest on the 22nd, and I didn't agree to all that.
Right.
So and then I got to come up with extra money and cover it, and then it's just a pain. That's why I never thought I would have to do that.
Right.
Someone put me in that position, which I ain't gonna blame somebody else, but that is what it is. I'm gonna get off so I don't keep you from your beauty sleep, or you need to get that cough out of there. I'm trying to think. What do I know other than the garlic and vinegar? Everyone's been telling you that, but that's in the beginning. I don't know if that works after it's set in like that. It definitely works for me if I feel it coming on. I go in there and it's hard to do it, but I'll take a gigantic tablespoon of just pure fresh garlic and stick it in my mouth, and take about a half a cup of apple cider vinegar, and sometimes I gotta add honey or it won't even go down, and it's just such a shock to your body that in a couple of occasions, maybe it's a placebo effect. I've just woke up and been fine. That's someone told me
Yeah, well,
about it,
this
and
is inflammation in my lungs now. It's all in my
well, I had
it's
that
all in
too. I
my
have
sinus
COPD,
canals,
so they say.
and so right now I think I'm at the point I need antibiotics and steroids. But I'm leaving it in God's
Yeah, well, I
hands.
can't take the steroids, and I used to. Yeah, but I mean, I'm still even so. I mean, don't let it get to the point where you're just going into work, and when you know that it's a little worse than
Well,
what you're telling people. I mean, when you start to get that feeling like you can't move your arms and legs hardly to get in and out of bed, that something's not right. Yeah, because I only had pneumonia once, and I've had struggle with my lungs my whole life after that. I constantly had bronchitis every year, like a yearly thing. I would be twice a year. I would be on antibiotics, and that followed me into adulthood. And then I was smoking on top of that, on and off, and constantly in there on breathing treatments, and just I had issues for years, and finally I kind of those eased up finally, and but then it's after years of everything. They told me I had COPD and still say I have it, and I definitely shouldn't be smoking, but I haven't had no big issue in going on 7 or 8 years. Knock on wood. But I don't go to the doctor either, so
right.
I'm one of those people that think if you don't go, if you don't find out, then you're just fine. But that you sound like one of those too.
Well, the what I do now is I'll get an issue and I leave it in God's hands, and you know if if it gets worse or whatever to where um He's not going to take care of it that way, then I'll go to the doctors if I have to. Um, but
Yeah, well, there's a fine line with that because I don't think there. I mean, if it gets bad enough, I don't think there's no. I mean, I'm a hypocrite to be saying this because people preach to me and say you need to go, you need to go. Like I've had I'm gonna say all what I've had, but I've had terrible things going on, major wounds, and they're like, you can't not go to the doctor. And I'm like, oh, I can fix it, and I'm just stubborn about it. But uh, yeah, when it comes to some things though, like you always hear them stories about someone just
well, I mean,
casually going
he
in hospital
he
and getting
healed my
pneumonia.
brain
But
tumor, so and I haven't even told you about that miracle yet because I've told it a couple of times, but I'll tell you about it
well, you told me
tomorrow.
a little bit. I didn't get all the
All right.
details. Yeah, you told me about it, and
So I
I'm missing
mean,
my
I
mom.
know that God can work miracles, and so like I said,
No doubt.
I have things that come up, and they'll worry me for a minute, and I'm like, well, I could go to the doctors, and then they'll say, yeah, it's this, and we got to do this and this, or I can leave it in God's hands for now and let Him decide what I should do about it. Either He's going to go ahead and heal it, and if
Yeah.
not, then then I'll do
Well, no,
whatever.
I'm not. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the negative
Yeah.
guy that's going
I
that
had
far.
hospitals. I had two hospitals fighting to garnish my wages, and that went on for years. And years, and
It took me forever
my
too.
boss even said something today. He's like, why don't you go to the doctors? I'm like, because I don't want to afford a $7,000 emergency room bill that I can't afford to pay, or even the medicine that I can't afford to buy. So,
that's true. You don't have anything at your job?
no.
That's so bad, man. That's terrible.
It is what it
I don't
is.
have anything neither.
It is what it is. So.
I don't have anything neither. Yeah, well, I was just saying, we're not going to jump that far ahead. I'm just going to say that in a few more days, it'll start to get better. That's what I'd rather say.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I'm thinking.
yeah, and obviously, the basics. Keep yourself hydrated and some
Yeah.
good things. Vitamin C and
Yeah.
whatever your little routine is that's worked for you.
Yeah.
Just
Just I
stay with
haven't been
it. I
able
like
to.
to see you get better,
I
though.
just haven't been able to do it yet. So I'll try to go to the store tomorrow and do some things I need to do. Try to see if
Well,
I
getting
can get better.
extra sleep, or at least your normal amount of sleep,
Yeah.
is
No.
definitely
I
key.
need. Yeah. I
So,
probably need like 2 days of real rest. Because your white
yeah.
count builds when you rest, and I haven't been able to. Your white count is your immune system. That's what fights infections, and I haven't been
Hmm.
able to do that lately. So.
Yeah, I was just reading recently about how important sleep is for having your immune system work
Yep.
correctly. So
Yeah, because your white
I
cells
might be
are
killing you right
your
now
your
by keeping
whites
you on the phone.
your white cells are replaced every 8 hours. 8 hours from now, every white cell in your body will be new. So the
Yeah,
deal
yeah, and you're
the deal with your white cell count, as you're up, you're using it. So
hmm
when you rest, it gets to rebuild. So if you go 3-4 days without enough sleep, your immune system is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and your white cell count because your white cell count gets lower and lower and lower. So, and then when you get sick, man, yeah,
yeah, you're really
you're gonna be
pushing it. Yeah, it's funny.
susceptible.
This is the second thing you mentioned, and I was just reading. I don't know how I bump into some of this stuff. I was just reading a lengthy article on that very subject about
Right.
sleep and the blood
Yep.
white blood cells.
Yep.
And again, I'm keeping you up right now, so I'll say good night to you and whoever else is still lingering, and let you get some
All
sleep.
right, and
And
then we'll have a
hopefully you'll
show.
feel better.
Yeah. Well, at least it isn't getting worse anymore, but so that's a good thing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, but I'll let you go. Who else is in there? I'll get back in there and say good
well,
night to everybody. And
I'm not sure. I think Suzanne, but she said she was going to bed too. And
yeah, I wouldn't be up this late myself. I got in a long conversation, and it got to something boring, and she fell asleep. She was at the beach or something all day. I didn't do anything though, but sit here. So yeah, I'll get off and I'll get back in there to check and say goodbye, and then you get some rest. I'll check you out tonight.
all
See if
right,
you're feeling better on here, and hopefully you will be.
all right,
All right.
Glenn.
Well, thanks. Thanks for
Uh,
having me. I just didn't want to type that about the
yeah,
scanner, but you pulled it up anyway, right after the same one. So
yeah.
okay. Well, I'll talk to you later. I'll pray that you feel better when you get up tomorrow.
Oh
That's
well,
what I
thank
do.
you, and thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All
Talk to you tomorrow.
right. Well. Okay. Good night.
All right. God bless you.
Yeah. God bless you too. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye bye. Oh. This thing is frozen. All right. So that was pleasant, but yeah, I definitely need to get some rest, and I need to go to the store and get some vitamins that I'm out of, and yada yada. Probably eat some like some healthy vegetables and stuff that I've been missing out on. Second man arrested in connection with fatal Suffolk Happy Shopper shooting. That's crazy. It looks like, let's see who that is, because he looks familiar. Uh, Good night, Suzanne. Good night, Glenn Clark. God bless y'all. And yeah, I'm going to close out and listen to some Chuck Missler and go to sleep. Alright, thank you for stopping in. Always a pleasure. And we'll have some good topics later this evening. You too. God bless you.